Hi there, Evan here with Crypto and Markets for Thursday, November 29th, 2018. Of course, the U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell came out and implied yesterday that the Federal Reserve was going to go ahead and pause after the December rate hike. And now the market's really only pricing in one rate hike for next year. Hence, the market, even the Dow, I think, had like a 600-point gain yesterday. But again, look past the headlines. Just a month ago, the Federal Reserve said it was full steam ahead, the economy's fine, we're going to do 4 rate hikes next year, ain't no doubt in town. So, does the market think they just magically changed their minds? I mean, if you look at leading US and leading global indicators, there's definitely going to be a slowdown in 2019. Is there talk getting out ahead of this? Also, we know that the US has a massive corporate debt bubble with the rating right above junk, like in the triple Bs. I mean, even in their statement yesterday, I'll go ahead and read this. The Fed noted the share of investment grade debt classified at the low end of the range, like I said, has reached near record levels of total corporate bonds. Fed warns that a particularly large plunge in market prices is possible if risks materialize. So yeah, they're pausing for the right reasons, right? And even then, US dollar been going up lately. US dollar funding costs have been going up lately. Precursor to a slowdown / ultimate recession. Manufacturing PMIs around the world still weak. Korean exports have been trending down since early in the third quarter, which is a great precursor to global earnings growth going forward. So markets going this way, but when you read through all the data, you know earnings estimates have to go this way. So really what I'm saying is, yesterday was all driven by an algorithm saying, oh, the Fed's pausing, we can go ahead and spike the market. But again, dig back and see why the Fed is implying a pause. And when you look at a lot of those reasons, for the global economy, it doesn't paint a good picture. And if you look at the markets themselves, still no one's bearish yet. With the problems you see on the horizon, that's pretty scary. And here's another angle to look at it as. If the US pauses in December, what happens to other central banks around the world who now have easy policy and want to tighten? If the US Federal Reserve pauses, for example, it gives the ECB full excuse to still go ahead with QE for all the sovereign debt and banking problems they got. Other central banks around the world, Bank of England, Bank of Canada as well, Reserve Bank of Australia, New Zealand Bank, you name it. They now have a further excuse not to go ahead and tighten further. Which is why I'm saying, even if they go ahead and pause after the December hike, the US dollar is still going higher. Because all this is going to do is give other central banks who are dealing with their own problems back home more ammunition to keep easy monetary policy. And that's what I'm saying. Now, some people have asked me, even on comments on previous videos on Twitter, What does this mean for the Bank of Canada? Well, look, they've essentially already signaled they're going to go at the pace of the U.S. If it's signaling now that the U.S. is only going to do one more rate hike next year, and with the slowdown already starting in many housing markets across Canada, across many sectors across Canada, is December it? Or, well, let me rephrase. December will be the U.S. hike. The Bank of Canada will likely hike in January. So is January the last hike? Looking more likely right now. If I were a betting man, I would definitely bet on that. Again, I've been wrong in the past, but if I wanted to make a somewhat safe bet here, you can say January is their last hike. In fact, you even see it in the bond markets lately. With all the repricing that's going on, with future rate moves, long end yields are starting to come down now as everyone sees this slower growth. So for a large part, the bond markets have already priced that in. In fact, the Canadian 5-year, I think yesterday came out just over 2.25, or when the last time the all the lenders did their mortgage rate hikes, it was at 2.5. So 2.5 was the last hike, but now we sit at 2.25. Again, you know where I stand. I think the Canadian lenders are in for a serious liquidity squeeze next year, and mortgage rates aren't going to go down much at all. In fact, I still have them going higher next year, anyways, even if bond yields are compressed. As lenders try and discourage further lending to keep their balance sheet shored up. That's what I think. Anyhow, I have to go to work. I think I've rambled on enough. But again, just think, why is the U.S. Federal Reserve pausing? And what would other central banks do if they do pause? That's all I'm going to say. Smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at CryptoMarkets2. Y'all have a good day.